Our jobs are a big part of our life. The average person spends about 90,000 hours, 3,750 days, or between 10 and 11 years at work. While we are working, we often see our colleagues more than our families or our friends. Unfortunately, many of us are stuck with a job that they don't like because they need the money and/or because they are too afraid of change. But in the end, life is short. Too short to do a job that you don't like or that doesn't make you happy. If that's the case, it is probably worth taking the risk and moving on to something new that you enjoy and that brings you happiness and fulfillment, at least for the most part. Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Laura and today I would like to point out 10 signs to you that will let you know whether it is time for a new job. Sign number 1 is a lack of motivation. If we're honest, we all have better days at work and days that we are not super excited about it. And in the end, this is pretty normal because after all, it is work and not just a hobby that we're doing. But if you're constantly counting down the hours at work until your day is finally over, if you have to drag yourself to work every single morning, and if it all just seems like one big chore to you, you clearly have no motivation left and it is probably time for a new job. Number 2 is a lack of interest. If you're no longer interested in what you're doing or passionate about it, most likely you won't perform as well as you used to anymore. And this can lead to even more frustration. And this is obviously not a good cycle to be stuck in. In this situation, try to remember how it used to be, because there is a reason why you're doing the job that you are doing right now. Maybe you wanted to help people. Maybe you wanted to be in contact with people. Maybe you wanted to be creative or part of a bigger project. Whatever it is that made you want to do your job in the first place, try to find that spark again. And finally, if all hope is lost and you simply don't find your job interesting anymore, get ready for a change. Number 3 is kind of the result of number 1 and number 2, and that is that you complain about your job all the time. With any job, there's always going to be a few tough days. However, there should always be things that excite you and that you enjoy about your job. Whether this is something you accomplished or working with your team on a bigger project, or simply the fact that you're constantly able to grow and learn new things at your job. If instead you find yourself complaining to your friends and family all the time, it is a really bad sign, because it can lead to a lot of bad moods and a lot of tension both at work and at home, meaning in your private life. If you have reached this point, it is a pretty clear sign that it is time to move on. Number 4 is that you cannot show the skills that you have anymore. Every job requires a variety of skills that you have, otherwise you wouldn't be doing your work right now. If, however, you notice over time that you are not using your skills anymore to accomplish your tasks, it can limit your ability to improve and to reach your full potential. Even worse, you might even lose some of the skills that you have, which ultimately makes you a less qualified employee. So if this is the case, it is definitely time for a new job where you can make the most out of your skills and out of your talent. Number 5 is that there is simply nothing left for you to learn or opportunities to advance. Your professional knowledge and skills are, along with perhaps some luck, hard work and a few other factors, decisive for how much money you make each month. So your goal must be to improve, keep learning and get better at what you do. This is the only way to stay competitive in the job market and be interesting to future employers. If there is nothing left at your current job to learn, move on to a place where you can undergo further training and further education to have opportunities where you can grow and advance from the place that you are right now. The better you are at what you do, the more secure your job will be in the future and the less you will have to worry about. Number 6 is that you are severely underpaid or your work is not worshipped anymore. If you are criticized all the time unfairly, or if you're not getting any credit for the hard work that you are doing, it can be very discouraging. The same can be said for if you don't get the salary that you deserve for the work that you do. Ultimately, a fair salary is a sign of appreciation from every employer to his or her employees that are well qualified to make sure that they are happy and want to stay in their job. So if your hard work never gets appreciated, or if you never get a raise that you clearly deserve that represents the worth of your work on the market, it is time for you to find a new job that will make you happier. Number 7 also concerns your paycheck, and that that is if you don't have any other opportunities to make more money in the future. Regardless of your age, you should always have the opportunity to improve and to advance in your profession. Therefore, there should also be options for you to make more money if you're willing to put in the necessary efforts. Because generally, life doesn't get cheaper as you get older. Early in your career, your first paycheck may seem like a lot of money to you. However, once you get older, more bills come in for new responsibilities such as a car or house. You may also have kids or grandkids to take care of, and or your healthcare costs get higher and higher. Life is usually getting more expensive and you need a job that can keep up with it. If that is not the case right now, find a job that allows you to do so. Number 8 is that your job causes you constant stress or even anxiety. First of all, let me point out that not every kind of stress is always bad for you. In certain situations, we need a certain amount of stress to help us perform better, think faster, and get things done more efficient. Think of an exam situation, for example. However, if your job is causing you constant stress or even anxiety, this can severely affect your health. Early symptoms may be chronic fatigue, severe headaches, or that you are experiencing any other kind of physical discomfort. Also, if you find yourself being stressed out Sunday afternoon or in the evening by the thought of Monday, or if you find yourself having trouble sleeping by the thought of work, this is a clear sign that you must change something about your situation, because work should never take priority over your health. Number 9 is if you're not getting along with your team and or with your boss. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, we spend a lot of time with our colleagues and superiors, sometimes even more than with our friends and family. So if you have significant problems with your team and or your boss, or if you work in a toxic work environment, this can only have negative consequences. Usually both your work and your personal well-being will suffer from that. Moreover, a bad relationship with your work colleagues and superiors is very unfavorable for your future personal work references and can therefore affect your future career. In this case, it is high time to change jobs as soon as possible. Finally, we get to sign number 10, which is that you daydream about a new job at work. If you spend your lunch breaks thinking about or wondering what you would do in your next life, or if you constantly imagine handing in your resignation, it is a clear sign that your job is no longer right for you. The same is true if you keep browsing job boards while you're at work, or if you're jealous of your friends' careers, wondering how they landed the perfect job that makes them happy and content. If this is true, it is time for you to find something that will make you just as happy and satisfied as they are. That brings us to the end of today's video, but if you know any more signs, or if you have been in a situation that made you leave your job, leave a comment down in the comment section for me and others to learn from it. Finally, I hope that you found out by now that none of the signs that I mentioned apply to you and that you are still very happy with the job that you currently have. However, if you're thinking about leaving your current position and move on to something new, I will have more videos coming very soon with tips of how to boost your application for your next job. So subscribe to make sure that you don't miss out on that. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That was it from me today, but I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon.